it's not really about technical ability. It's about how driven they are and how curious. We've obviously had to like occasionally remove people from the business that just aren't right, and the role's not right for them, or the industry's not right for them. That's definitely a challenge.
All right, so welcome back everyone to the PPC Mastery Podcast. Today I am joined by the co-founder, or one of the co-founders of 𝗧𝗵𝗲 𝗃𝗱𝗴𝗲. Kat, you're someone who I have been following for a long time on LinkedIn. Actually, almost from the beginning, when I saw you guys, you and Emma working together. I think you were really small at the time, just maybe maybe 2 or 3 team members, and in a couple of years you've grown it to, I think from what I've seen now, 14 team members. So today I want to uncover everything there is about 𝗧𝗵𝗲, what makes you guys unique. From what I see on LinkedIn, obviously outside looking in, it looks like you have built a really good, solid culture with awesome people. So I want to hear all about that. But before we dive into your whole story of building 𝗧𝗵𝗲 to what it is today, I want to ask you one quick question, and that is, what is something that you believe about Google Ads that most people would disagree with?
Amazing. Thanks for having me. So I believe that Google Ads, still, the devil is in the detail, and you can make a massive difference by looking at the detail and unpicking under the hood. And I think that now a lot of people believe, maybe not set and forget quite as far as that, but definitely, let it be automated. It'll be fine. Google knows what we need. And it's just not true. It's so not true. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm definitely interested to hear why you think that, and what exactly it is that you guys offer as a service with 𝗧𝗵𝗲. But before we go into that, actually, I saw one of your posts recently on LinkedIn, and I'm just going to read it out. You said, 4 years ago, I had a secure job, a 3-year-old and a newborn. Not the ideal time to quit and start a business. Then Emma had the grand vision of an agency that could change the PPC industry. 4 years later, that's actually the stop of the post. 4 years later, you actually have a quote unquote actual agency that you've built with a team of 14 now. So yeah, I'm curious, can you talk about your journey starting from the beginning? Why did you decide to work with Emma and build 𝗧𝗵𝗲, especially when you said like you had your secure job, you had a really young family, a 3-year-old and a newborn. I can imagine that's crazy as well to combine that with starting a business. So yeah, let's take it 4 years back, and why did you decide to do that?
Okay. I love a challenge and I don't like getting bored easily. It's a trap line to know about me. So Emma and I worked together. We started working together in 2011, I think, or 2010, an agency called 𝗪𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁. She was senior to me, and the agency was just very, I'm not going to say basic, but like they did the brilliant basics really well. Keep things simple. Bring people in entry level, train them up. So we both started our career in PPC there. And we were friends and we worked together on stuff. And we always had really similar values and ways of working. So it was always really easy. So we left there. I left there in 2015. She left a little bit before me. And we went our separate ways, but just stayed in touch as friends. And we saw more stuff around the industry, more things going really well and more things going badly. And we met for a dog walk during COVID. I don't know what it was like where you were, but in sort of late 2020, you could meet someone for a dog walk outside. You couldn't go inside.
Right.
So we used to meet a lot for dog walks. We both got dogs. And Emma was working in a big network agency and really struggling with the culture and ways of working and managing everything to a strict P&L. That was like the biggest challenge. And I was on maternity leave. Baby was like a month old. And I was at Crowd, another agency that was a brilliant agency. I was there for like 5.5 years. And she told me about this consultancy she wanted to do, whereby you essentially would help in-house teams do better with paid media. So we have always specialized just in PPC and paid social and display. We don't do anything else. We're not going to try and do anything else. We can unpick that later if you want. But there's a lot of businesses that know they want to do better with that, but don't really know how. and they don't necessarily want lengthy, expensive contracts with an agency. So Emma pretty much had this whole business plan. She didn't ask me. She didn't ask me to come with her, but I was like, this is the most exciting thing I've heard about in about 10 years. Mm-hmm. So can I come with you? Mm-hmm. And it kind of just escalated from there. So as soon as we left our jobs, started telling people about it, referrals just started coming in. We didn't advertise as such, just LinkedIn posting, and just our contacts. And then the first 2 contracts we got were much bigger than planned, which was great. Yeah. And one of them is still a client now.
Nice.
Which is incredible. And they've gone from being fully managed to them running it and us being consultants to then full circle, us managing it again. So we really just want to help businesses do better with paid media. We don't actually care who manages it. But what happened over time is some clients would say, we don't want to run it ourselves. Can you run it? So we developed another side of the business that does that and hired people and so on and so forth.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. So I guess that is a testament to the quality that you guys deliver, because if first they outsource it to you, and then I guess the natural inclination of brands and businesses would be to in-house certain expertise, and then they have you as the external consultants to sort of maybe train them and take them by the hand to reach the same goals and performance. But then they probably notice like, oh, this is really hard, and we actually need true experts. And then they ask you to come back and just take over again.
Sometimes they just bring us in every few months. Some brands like knowing that we're just there, that they could reach out if needed. We've had one client go full circle where we audited their campaigns, took over management for about 1.5 years. They then took it in-house. And it was a really great opportunity for the person in-house. They could progress, learn more about PPC. We trained her. That person's now got on maternity leave. So we've taken it back to manage it for like an 8-month period. And it's just really nice. I like that way of building relationships and working long-term, not just thinking about the next month's bill, you know?
Yeah. And you mentioned that you and Emma, you have similar values in, well, life, I guess, but also in how you want to build an agency. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so we definitely care a lot about working really hard, driving results. Mm-hmm. So we're never going to be an agency that will just sign a client and then get distracted by something shiny and new and then leave that client. You know, we've got pretty good processes in to make sure that doesn't happen. So we really care about success and results, both of us. We're always driven. And if one of us is like struggling slightly, we tend to bring the other one up and vice versa, which really helps. And we care equally about work-life balance. So as much as we both love success, we don't work sort of 12, 14-hour days. Mm-hmm. We make sure we take breaks. We make sure the team take breaks. We're really like hot on using holiday. And I think because we're the same in those ways of caring about things, it just makes it easier. Because, you know, I'll say, oh God, I'm really struggling, like this thing, blah, blah, blah. And Emma will say, when did you last have a day off? You know? And so she actually cares about that. I guess that's the thing about it, isn't it? We care about each other's general well-being as well as the business. We're not just in it for the money.
Yeah. And that then trickles down into the organization, I can imagine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So right now you are at a team of 14, is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
So how's that change been for you in terms of how much fun you're having at the agency, how it actually is operationally?
Yeah.
I know you mentioned on Mondays now you're working from home, which might be needed if you have a big team to manage. But can you maybe talk about some changes that you've seen going from just you and Emma all the way to where you are now?
Massive changes. So we weren't gonna hire. And then we kind of got to like 4 or 5 months in and we were like, oh, we're not going to be able to grow if we don't hire because clients are sticking around. So then we were like, right, let's hire. We feel really strongly about bringing people into the industry. So Emma and I have hired and fired lots of people over the years, right, at different agencies. And I think that bringing in fresh talent is something that we feel is, I find quite easy to do. Yes, there's a lot of training and hand holding initially, but you can train them how you want. You can make sure they follow your detailed process, and they tend to stick around for a little while. The industry's full of people that, sorry to say this, agency world is full of people that love to, demand high salaries, move around a lot, but actually not do much.
Right.
And the more senior you get in agencies, often the less in the detail you are. But because we believe that the performance is in the detail, you have to stay close to that. So I think that hiring junior and training them up helps us move with the industry because they're interested in new things, and it helps us stay in the detail, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So is the majority of the people that you have on your team now just people who start with relatively little experience, and then you train them?
Everybody. So everybody in the business, apart from me and Emma, has started from, they've had other jobs probably, like some of all sorts, but not specific to this industry. Like the first person we hired, she's still with us now. She's been with us nearly 3 years, and she started in estate agency work and very quickly realized that wasn't for her. And then she got a job with us. We love growing people. I think that's part of it.
Yeah, that is also the perception that I had from the outside looking in. I always see the pictures of the team and how you and Emma both talk about your team on LinkedIn. I think that is definitely unique for sure. Maybe also because it is 2 women in the agency world leading an agency. I can imagine also for you, since you have two kids or maybe more.
Yeah,
now,
2 boys. I have 2 boys.
Two boys. I can just imagine, you have your agency role that you're managing, and then when you come home, it's another full-time job. So you kind of have to balance that. Yeah.
There is a lot going on. Yeah. But also, regardless of what you've got going on at home, everybody needs a life outside of work to do a good job, I think. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely true. But I think there's a lot of agency owners who just don't look at that at all.
Yeah, definitely.
And just think at the results that you need to bring for clients, and then that's it. And then personal life is kind of like, no, that's your
It's
thing.
just so short-sighted though, isn't it? Because if your team are happy in their general life, their work will be better. They'll make more of an effort with their clients, which will make you more money. There is an ulterior motive underneath it, really.
It's a win-win.
Yeah, it is. Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Hey guys, real quick, if you like this episode, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss anything in the future. And feel free to share with a friend, colleague, or family member, because that's the only way we can grow the show. All right, back to the show. So in this journey of building House of Performance, what are some of the biggest challenges that you have faced?
Well, growing a team that's junior has had many challenges, right? Because we didn't start with small clients. We have a range of clients, right? All different industries and all different sizes. Some of them spending like 5,000 a month. Some of them spending like 150,000 a month. So it really varies. And, no client wants to be told, oh, the person we're assigning you has been with us a month.
Right.
So we have this process basically where every client, no matter the size, has at least a junior and a senior on it.
Yeah.
Now the senior might be me or Emma, or it might be someone. We obviously now have some seniors within the team because they've grown. And there's 2 benefits to that, I suppose. The clients get to see that we're putting a lot of resource into their account and make sure that we've got experience to back that up. But also then the juniors learn quickly off the seniors, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But no, that has been a challenge. And we have definitely had clients say, oh, we don't want just a junior team. What are you going to do about that? How much are you as one of the founders going to be available? So we have to make sure we ring fence time for the clients as well, which is fine. It just means you have to sacrifice other things to do that. Yeah. But that's a challenge. Much easier now. Like now the team's a lot bigger and, probably 70%. Yeah. And like 70% of them have been with us more than a year. So they're not new. So it's fine. So that's the first challenge. Second challenge is finding the right people and making sure they're right very quickly. Because when you interview, we have quite a rigorous interview process, but you never really know, right, until someone starts and they get cracking. And it's not really about technical ability. It's about how driven they are and how curious. So, you know, we've obviously had to like occasionally remove people from the business that just aren't right, and the role's not right for them, or the industry's not right for them. That's definitely a challenge. Yeah. Those are probably the people, I would say the people basically is the challenge mainly.
Is that also still like those are some of the biggest challenges of the last 4 years since building House of Performance? Is that also one of the biggest challenges that you're facing currently, or are there other challenges that you're facing as an agency right now, which might be different from when you started?
Well, when we first started, we also had a big challenge of nobody knew us, and when you go to a bigger pitch, they want to know who you work with, and they want to hear names that they know. So for like quite a while, we didn't really have any sexy brand names. Now we've got a few of those. It definitely is easier because people, it doesn't even matter what you do with that brand, really. They just want to hear the name. It's so funny. So that's a challenge I'd say that's gone away now, which is great. People definitely. Just the juggle as we've got bigger, because there's 14 of us now, and there's a lot of people's needs. It's still people related, right? I mean, I'm so thankful I've got a co-founder, a partner that we share the work, because I just couldn't do it otherwise, I don't think. Not to the standard I want.
And what is the division then between you and Emma in terms of operations, or how you run the business?
So I guess
is it just you two as the two founders?
So we have got people that have progressed into management now.
Nice.
So there is a bit of a hierarchy, but it's still quite flat, really. Emma and I have divided up some things. So like, she's in charge of new business. I lead a lot of the marketing. I'm in charge of invoicing, like task-based stuff. But we both definitely love to get involved in all areas still. That's the fun of it, really. Because we love variety.
As you mentioned in the beginning, you like a challenge and you don't like to get bored.
Definitely.
And so those are the challenges. How about some of the more wins or success stories from those 14 years, I was going to say, since you hired 14 people from the last couple of years?
I think big wins were like when we realized that some of the team could be self-sufficient in stuff, and they'd come to a client meeting and they had loads of ideas that were nothing to do with me or Emma. And we were like, wow, we've trained you, but now you're your own expert. I mean, we've got a guy that's been with us 7 months, and he's like leading the way with demand gen, wants to know everything about it, wants to push other people to test it. So like, seeing people have initiatives running without us needing to push is amazing. What other successes? I think when we won our first award, so we won Best UK Startup at the, which one was it? I'm going to forget now. I think it was like UK Paid Media Awards 2023 or 22. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The first time we won was phenomenal, because we just didn't expect anyone was taking us that seriously. Especially as women. It sounds, I don't want to go on about this too long, but like, we've had a lot of comments like, oh, you're just a lifestyle business. You know, it's great that you can do that to fund your shopping habit. Stuff like that. That is just ridiculous. So to then win awards and grow really well, it just feels great. Because it just means all that stuff just melts away. Yeah,
exactly. At some point you just become legit. But anyone who, it's their opinion anyway, like.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter at all. You know who you are and what you're building. That's obviously the most important thing. And what are your goals moving forward with House of Performance in terms of what you are comfortable sharing, of course?
So I mean, we had a goal, like revenue wise, we've got targets. We don't need targets, but I think they help us to focus on growing. And the thing about growing is, ironically, we've grown so much. That doesn't mean that me and Emma all of a sudden are really rich and it's all great. If anything, it's gone the other way because the costs are so much higher. But the growth's really important because because the goal is to help grow people, as in help people grow their careers in paid media. To do that, we have to be growing as an agency, because if we just stick with the same clients and we don't grow, there's less opportunity comes up. And then people get bored and then they leave, because there's always a competitor looking to take your staff. So growth's super important, not only from like a size and money thing, but also staff retention. So we really care about staff retention, because you know, it's good for the business, it's good for the clients, all that stuff. So you asked me about goals, and I've gone off on a tangent.
No, I like that, and it's also something we can zoom into, because once again, it's so important, you know, and maybe, I don't know if it's for you, it feels normal or second nature, or maybe because it is also part of your character and Emma's character, that it seems to me like you are a nice person who cares about other people. So since you said that's one of the core things that you look at with House of Performance. But again, in the agency world, there's a lot of agencies, a lot of businesses that just don't care or just don't look at those things at all. So I think this is really a fresh air in the industry right now. So and even if, you know, and I didn't mean per se with goals like money goals or how much revenue you want to do. This is great, because if your sole or if your primary goal is to grow people in the industry, then as a result, in doing so, you're also going to grow your agency. So
exactly.
I just love that.
No, definitely carry on growing. And, you know, people that don't care about that stuff won't win in the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's so simple, really. We just want to do good work and be a good place to work. That is the goal. And that's been the goal from the beginning.
Nice.
If any work or client relationship doesn't align with that or doesn't feel good, we get rid of it. So you asked me earlier about challenges. We had a massive challenge in, I think it was like early 2022, where we had this client who was paying us, we were on a consultancy basis, paying us a day rate that was really high. And me and Emma were like, brilliant, this is going to help us grow loads. This client's going to be great. They need our help. And he was just awful. And he liked to get us in a room, shout at us about the performance of something that we didn't run because we were consultants. He'd shout for around an hour, and then he'd say, right, we need more work. Can you do these projects? And sign off more days consultancy. So this happened for about 3 weeks, like every week for 3 weeks on the run. And then me and Emma were like, we can't sustain this. This isn't going to work for us, because we can't put anyone in our team on that client, because they'll just cry and leave. They won't want to work for us. And we don't want to do it because we hate it. It's making us anxious. And we've dealt with all kinds of clients over the years, and we don't want this. So we just fired him. And do you know what? It felt amazing. It was so good. We lost a lot of money. Like, we lost like £12,000 because he never paid his bills. But, you know, it was worth it. Yeah,
absolutely. I talk about that quite frequently in my content as well, like red flags to look out for with clients. And I think, you know, burnout in our industry is definitely very common, but I don't think it's talked about a lot by a lot of people. So I also, you know, every now and then try to break that stigma and make it, you know, normal to talk about these things, especially when we have let's say you are an agency owner who doesn't care about your people, and you think, oh yeah, we're making so much money off this client, and we're just going to hand it over to someone in our team, and then they're going to crash. And you can still look at it from the business perspective, like, oh, okay, if they're burning out, oh no, then we need to replace this person, et cetera, et cetera. But the thing that people are missing then is how is that person feeling, in their personal life, in their day to day. If you get a real burnout, you can be out of the running for 1 or 2 years. I've seen it so many times around.
So sad.
It's super sad. So I think it takes guts to fire a client like that because of the potential revenue that you could have generated with it. But that people focus is, I think, what's going to give you longevity in the industry as well.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Awesome.
And that's the thing. We're in it for a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, nice. So, you mentioned curiosity just now. And one of your latest LinkedIn posts, which I also saw, is that you mentioned that, according to you, one of the keys to success in digital marketing is curiosity and perseverance. Why did you say that?
Because if you're not curious, you'll never discover what could be. So even it, and this is in everything, right? But especially in digital, if you don't push for more and try and find other ways to keep improving, you'll just stagnate and die, essentially. And there is always ways to improve, isn't there? I mean, we audit accounts all the time, including our own. And sometimes we get clients that come to us and say, performance is okay, but I don't know if I could get more. That's like the dream brief, because you can just go in and find all these other opportunities. So that's the curiosity bit, essential. Like anyone who's not curious, they're not going to succeed, in my opinion. And then the perseverance thing is, you will have strategies that you think are going to be amazing and then they just aren't, and they just flop, or performance is in decline and you really can't figure out why, and it's miserable. You know, we had a situation with our team where we took on a new account in the summer last year, and the guy we put on it is very capable. He's run loads of different accounts now, but this account was in a really bad place, and the ROAS was going down, essentially, and the client kept complaining. And this person in my team kept saying, Sunday nights, I just had the dread because I didn't know what performance I was going to come into for the Monday report. But he didn't give up. So he kept persevering and trying different things. And now the account's in an amazing place. Whereas he could have just given up and go, PPC just doesn't work for them.
Right.
But PPC works for everybody, right? In some capacity. Yeah. So you can't give up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And I think also curiosity is in fact, maybe one of the core traits to look for in people in PPC, and as you said, in other industries as well. Because then maybe even I never thought of it like that, but curiosity might be on the other side of the coin of perseverance, because you just don't give up because you are curious. Like,
yes,
why
definitely.
is it not working? And then
definitely.
So it's actually two of the same things in a different packaging. It's interesting.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. So at House of Performance, by the way, you guys do paid search and paid social. That's right?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you also do landing pages and stuff like that?
No, but we do make a lot of requests and recommendations. Right. We just don't manage them. Yeah. I don't want us to diversify the channels we offer any more further, because we won't be as specialist and as good.
I see. Yeah.
I mean, we've had so many clients say to us, well, can't you just manage my website? Can you do my SEO? What about email? And then it's like, yes, we could make a bit more cash now, but then we won't be experts. Yeah. And there's more than enough to do, like just with PPC and social. Absolutely. And we do display as well, because I think that comes under the performance banner. But we're never going to diversify out of that. Yeah,
I see. But then you do, let's say you audit an account, or in your own account, and you see that the landing pages is not driving high enough conversion rates. You do challenge your clients and say, okay, 100%. We need this and that.
Yeah. Actually, one of the first audits we ever did, it was for like a big private medical insurer, and really the headline from the audit was, you need to invest in CRO, and that's not with us, but you need to go away and do that, So you have to, because PPC, as an example, can only do so much. If the landing pages aren't right, even the best Google Ads campaigns aren't going to cut it. Yeah, absolutely. So important.
And then the last question that I actually wanted to ask you is, how do you juggle your role as the co-founder of House of Performance and being a mom of two? Especially when you started, you had a 3-year-old and a newborn, which is crazy.
It is crazy. Using my network. So I've got a lot of people that help me with childcare. Similarly, in the business, you have to become so good at delegating and not doing everything yourself. So that delegating, I suppose, in all aspects of life. Having a 50-50 relationship with my husband. So a lot of people still don't quite have that. And unfortunately, the mum is doing a lot of the, drop off, pick up, all that stuff. We are so 50-50, like it's crazy. And he's got a, really important career as well, but that's so key to me, because I can't do it all, and I don't want to do it all either. Like I really love doing bits of everything, as I said in the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually a selfish question for me as well because my girlfriend is due in a couple of weeks.
I know.
So yeah.
How are you feeling about that?
Exciting. It's excited. Also, yeah. I mean, it's probably mostly excitement, but I don't really know how everything is going to change. I know for a fact that things are going to be different, but I just feel that I can't really. There's no way to understand how it really is going to be until it's actually there. And then what I'm looking forward to the most is just seeing how I can build a new routine with a baby and a you know, us at being a family. But yeah, everything, all things considered, it's nice that you have 8-9 months to work towards that, especially as a man.
Yeah, definitely.
And now, you know, the first couple of months is like a little bit like, well, not frightening, but you know what's coming. And now, since it's been so long already, I'll just know that I'm really looking forward to it now. So yeah,
it's amazing. You'll love it. You just have to adapt.
Yeah.
Right. And every age they get to, because now mine are 4 and 7.
Right.
It's just different challenges. That's all I can say. Yeah. Constant different challenges, and you just have to find ways to adapt. Yeah.
Luckily, that's fun. Our work in PPC as well. It
really is quite similar. Yeah. Exactly. Just read the data and then figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. Just know how to adapt, be curious, and persevere, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. I mean, I do work funny. You asked how I manage. Like, I work normal hours, but then sometimes I'll be like working on a pitch in the evening because I have to, because I want to finish. I finished earlier to have the kids, you know, stuff like that. But we're in a world where it's fine to do that, and it's great.
Yeah. And that's
where you'll be doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where you said that you have the 50-50 split with your husband as well, which is crucial in these days where it's not, you know, depending on what you want as a family. Yeah. But I want to have that as well, you know, want to have equal responsibilities. So,
Yes. And it'll be easier where you are, much more progressive.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So what I want to do now is just fire a few rapid fire questions your way and just give answer, you know, just quickly or elaborate as you want. All right.
Okay.
The first one is a popular thing that people want to know actually is how do you stay up to date in our fast changing industry?
Well, I'm not saying this to suck up, but your podcast is pretty good.
Thank you.
So this morning I was listening to Thomas Eccles. I don't know if that's how you say it.
Oh yeah, 𝗬𝗀𝗄.
Demand Gen. Italian. Oh my God, so good.
Nice.
Good. I sent it around to the team. Cool. LinkedIn. It's LinkedIn and it's stuff like your podcast. It's being curious. It's easier than ever to stay up to date, I think, because people are posting about it constantly. Yeah. About whatever the thing might be. So yeah, being curious and definitely using LinkedIn. I get more from LinkedIn than I do from like Google themselves, obviously.
Yeah. LinkedIn is crazy. It's a treasure trove for sure. Yeah. And I think more and more people have started to post and share their thoughts. Whereas a couple of years ago, I think people were much more secretive and keeping their best secrets secret. But now, and I think it's just the more you give, the more you're going to get back from it as well.
Of course. Yeah.
All right. The second one is, do you think Google is going to remove keyword match types in 2025?
I don't know about 2025, but they will at some point. Yeah, they will. They will keep throwing challenges and adapting.
Yep.
But that's part of the fun, isn't it?
For sure. That's why that's how we don't get bored.
Yeah. I find it interesting when people post stuff like, don't you just wish exact match was like it was 10 years ago? And it's like, no, because we can do so many more advanced things because it's better. You just have to manage it closely. Like, I know. I think it's good.
Yeah. And what is the worst Google Ads advice you've ever gotten?
I mean, it's probably the same as everyone else. Put it all in broad match.
Right.
I had a client once who logged in and to their own account, obviously, and they just hit the recommendation, change everything to broad. And they didn't realize what they'd done. And we came in the next day, they had so many leads that were completely wrong because they were matching to the wrong stuff. So probably put everything on broad. Yeah.
And what about the best advice for Google Ads?
Oh, well, so we've done a lot of work with like a Forex like trading business, and because they spend a lot, their Google reps are really, really high quality. And they have taught us loads about bid strategies and minimum conversions and we've done a lot of work where like we've moved down someone's process to essentially become a trader is a lot of steps and it's lengthy. So you start by bidding to application for that, but then what you really want is you want to bid for the people that actually are going to trade a high value. So working with Google to get there was phenomenal because their guidance was actually good.
Nice. It's refreshing when you have Google reps, which is usually not the lower level of reps. Like I don't mean like low quality or anything, but just with the teleperformance, they are usually more salesy, and then the growth strategists and stuff like that, they are typically quite good if they are able to adapt to your business. That's quite nice.
If they listen. Yeah.
All right, so I have two final questions. The first one is more geared towards agency owners, because I think some agency owners will be listening to this and try to learn from your experience building House of Performance. And then the other one would be for the PPC expert, so people that could be part of your team, for example. So first, for the agency owners, what is one piece of advice that you would give them about building and growing agency? Like the one thing that you think is really important?
Can I have two?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So number one is define your goals. Your values. Define your values and live and die by them. So example, one of our values is enjoying our work. So if somebody doesn't align with that, it's not going to happen. You know, really important. So whatever your values might be, because it's really easy to stick to stuff that you care about. And the second one is find people to work with that are aligned with you. So even if you don't, I was really lucky. I had a business partner. I've got Emma, right? And I knew before we even started that she would be the right person to do this with. But some people don't have that. So find people that you can use for your business, whether that's as an advisor or they might be an employee, whatever, that are aligned to your values. Because you can't be there constantly. Sometimes you might want to take a holiday and they can cover you. And that's super important.
Yeah. How do you hire for those values then? Is that part of your recruitment process?
Yeah, I think it's about like having a lot of conversations over different time periods and just asking all sorts of questions, not just about the role.
Right.
Ask about their personal lives, what they're into, stuff like that as well. We do sometimes do like, what would you do if type questions to see how people react. Yeah. Somehow trying to check honesty is good. Check if someone's going to be honest in an interview. That's super important. Or if they, and you know, you get it wrong sometimes, but then you remove them from the business, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, then the last question is more geared towards the PPC experts. If you had one tip that could improve their careers, what would that be?
Be curious. Sorry to repeat. Never stop being curious. I've worked in this for so long now, and I still just love. I mean, I just love going on Google and seeing what other people are doing, and how can I use that for mine. And so, yeah, just be curious and like use your network, particularly on LinkedIn. Like follow the people that are going to teach you stuff. You know, don't let your feed become full of people selling you stuff and loads of rubbish. Follow people that actually are going to add value to your career and help you learn. Yeah.
Solid. All right. Well, on that note, thank you, Kat, so much for coming on. I've learned a lot. One thing that I'm taking away here is that it's definitely super important to look for people who have similar values as you and also care about the other person that you're working with, whether it is your client or your team member or a business partner or whatever it is. I think what you guys are doing at House of Performance, building a team where you kind of humanize your PPC experts instead of just looking at them as someone who has to produce a certain amount of hours per month or something like that. I think, as I said, it's really refreshing in our industry. I think we need more of that. So yeah, definitely keeping up. And where can people? By the way, where can people follow you and connect with you?
LinkedIn is probably the best place. So yeah, just 𝗏𝗧 �恵on LinkedIn. Cool. Easy.
And you have your website is it houseofperformance.com?
Yeah, .co.uk. Yeah.
Oh, .co.uk. So,
Yeah.
All right. Everyone go follow Kat for more behind the scenes and results and challenges. And you're always super honest in your posts. So keep it up. And thank you for coming on, and feel free to come back anytime.
Thanks for having me.
All right, that's the end of this episode of the PPC Mastery Podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you don't want to miss any future episodes, we're going to be back next week. Then don't forget to subscribe and share with a friend, family member, or a colleague, because that's the only way we can grow this show. Now, there's 2 more things I want to share with you. If you want to take your Google Ads game to the next level, the first one is, if you want to get advanced Google Ads tips delivered straight into your inbox on Mondays and Fridays, head over to ppcmastery.com/newsletter to subscribe to our newsletter called the PPC Edge. And next to that, if you want to really take your skills to the next level and become the best Google Ads specialist you can possibly be, then consider joining the PPC Hub, which is our coaching and community platform for experienced Google Ads specialists. You can find everything about it on ppcmastery.com/hub. And with that said, I'll catch you in next week's episode. Peace.